Okay, so for letter A, we have inputs, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for my outputs, I have 8. So this is a relation because there's multiple output, or there's the same output for each input. But then if we were to have different numbers in our output, each number were different, it would be a function because there's one input and one output, one input and one output. Numbers aren't repeated. So then if we come down to B, also if we were to graph this, it wouldn't look right. And then if we come down to B, it's 8, 0, 8, 1, 8, 2, 8, 3, 8, 4. So is that a function or a relation? It's a relation as well, because this input has multiple outputs. Okay, moving on to this one. Identifying functions continued. So for C, remember each input has exactly one output. So is this a function or a relation? I need to zoom in. So for letter C, is this a function? Yes or no? Are you guys asleep still? Okay.
Yes.
So no, it's not a function because if we look at 3, it has 2 outputs. Remember, there's only one output for each input. So not a function. 2 outputs for 3. Okay, now if we come to D, oh, that looks really weird. Okay, so D, is this a function? No, because it's not a straight line. If I were to connect my dots, that's not a straight line. So no, not a straight line. Okay, now I have E, which is -2, 5, -1, 8, 0, 6, 1, and 6, and 2, and 7. So yes, this is a function because there's only one output for each input. Okay. So do you guys kind of understand what's a function, not a function? Okay. So another way to determine if it's a function is if you can do what we call the vertical line test. So I can't decide the best way to see this. Okay. So the vertical line test, a vertical line goes up and down. So this is a vertical line. So if we place a vertical line on our graph, only one point on the graph should pass through it. So right here, I'm gonna darken my line. This purple line is a vertical line, and it only goes through one point. So yes, it's a function. But then if we come over here and put a vertical line through the graph, it goes through 2 points, so it's not a function. So in order to pass the vertical line test, it only goes through 1 point. So function goes through only 1 point, not a function because it goes through 2 points. Okay, so if I had a graph like this, that's my picture. Would that be a function or no? This one right here. No,
Nope.
good job. Because if I put a vertical line through it, it's going to go through more than one point anywhere I put a vertical line. So no. But then, what about this graph? Is that a function? This one, is that a function?
Chess.
Yes. Because if I do a vertical line, it'll only go through one point. Okay. Next up, we have the domain and range. I touched on them briefly. So the domain is all the possible input values, or X, and the range is all the possible output values, or the Y. So I gave this example to fifth period, but I don't think I gave it to you guys. It is like a machine. So the input is what you put into the machine. It goes in the machine and goes through the function and then comes out as your output. So your function is the machine or the equation. So y equals x plus 1. So if I put -2 into this function, wherever I see x, I'm going to put -2. And then I'm going to solve. So -2 plus 1 gives me -1. So that's my output. And I can write an output as an ordered pair, x comma y. So what would I put for my x? Okay, what would I put for my y? If you don't know what I would put for my x, what would I put for my y? It's written on my paper. Yep, good job. So y equals -1. And then my input was -2 because I substituted it in my equation for x. So -2 comma -1 gives me my ordered pair. So now you guys try this one on your own. Whoa, I just put a hole through the paper. Y equals 2x plus 2. And I need you to figure out the ordered pair when x equals 3. So if x equals 3, what will y be? Try and solve that on your own. It's y equals 2x plus 1. Okay, so in order to solve for my y, I'm going to plug in x, or 3 for x, in my equation, and that will give me y equals a number. So 2, and then I'm going to plug in wherever I see x, a 3 plus 2. So what's 2 times 3? 6, and then I bring down my plus 2, and 6 plus 2 gives me 8. So now I have, literally it tells you right here, y equals 8. So in my coordinate pair, where y would go, I'm going to put 8. Whoa, I keep putting holes in the paper. 8. Okay, so that, I know, I need to stop. So that's kind of lesson 3.1. We're not going to do a homework assignment on it. You guys had to do the plotting points and the Ed puzzle. So that is all I'm going to talk about today. The rest of the period is catch-up time for any missing assignments you have for my class. So go ahead and work on that.